Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Oscar Outdoors. Join me in this one as we go through 5 more tips for hammock camping. Welcome back everyone. As in a little intro, today I'm going to do 5 more tips for hammock camping for you. So if you've not seen already, I have started a group called Hammock Camping Tips, Tricks and Tutorials, which I'll leave a link in the description to that as always. But obviously I've got a bit of a series of videos going as well, which I'll flash the one before this up here now for you. So let's get straight in with this, with tip number 1. Okay, so tip number 1 is to do with your suspension system. Now there are many different types of suspension system out there for hammock camping, and everybody does have their own favourite or their own preferred method of hang. So you can use paracord with some tree protectors. My preferred method is daisy chain sort of tree huggers. There are whoopee slings and things like that. So have a look at all different methods and check out which one's best for you. These are my daisy chains. These are 3 meters long and they give me an ideal hang. Gone around the tree here, which is around about 4.5 inches wide, and then comes down, and obviously I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 different hanging points that I've got on these particular daisy chains. Now there are shorter ones, so do your homework on the ones that you get, but I'll leave a link to these ones in the description. Okay, so tip number 2 is to choose trees. Now the 2 particular trees that I'm stood at the moment are 9 paces apart. Now that is an extravagant hang in any sort of means by it. But that's all down to the suspension system. Now you can see that I've got it out quite tight, and I could have it a lot less tight than this, but I've done it like this on purpose just so that I can get my head under and show you the trees. So you want to look for a tree that is solid and not dead in any way, and probably a minimum of about 4 inches thick. Now you can see on mine I've gone around both of these trees just to give me an extra bit of stability. But yeah, this is just about right, so a bit of a hug around the tree, 2 hands grip, and I'm just not quite touching. I can touch there, but I've got about 4 inches on the far side, but 4 inch minimum for your tree, and probably 6 to 7 paces for your distance. Tip number 3 is all about visibility at night. So what I've gone and bought is a load of sort of glow in the dark zipper pulls. I don't know if you can see them. Somewhere there, where are we? Anyway, get some glow in the dark zipper pulls. Now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put these onto the loops on the end, and it's just going to provide a little bit of luminosity on a night, or it'll reflect off my torch beams and stuff, which I'll try and get a little bit of footage for and flash it up here for you now. But yeah, all I'm going to do is I'm going to tie them on. I'll bring you in to show you. As you can see, this is one of the tarps that I've set up in my previous tarp video. So I've got my guy line already attached and my pound shot bobble for a little bit of wind resistance. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to lark's head this zipper pull on there, and then that's just going to provide a little bit of a glow in the dark tab. I'm going to put one of them on every tab around the tarp. So there you go, you can see now that this tie out point is very busy. It's got the guy line, the little SB net, and then now the little glow in the dark zipper pull, and also the pound shot bobble. I'll leave a link to where I picked these up from in the description. But yeah, that's tip number 3, adding on a little bit of glow in the dark pulls. Okay, so tip number 4 is drip lines. Now if you are new to hammock camping, you've never heard of a drip line before, I'll briefly explain what they are. They're to hang on your suspension system on the outside of your gear. just to keep everything inside nice and dry. So when it rains, rain tends to run down your suspension system. In my case, these tree straps. But if you had a drip line, just something coming off of here, all the water and moisture should build up onto there and then drop to the floor before it gets to your hammock gear. So I'll quickly show you how I make one. Okay, to make one, take your preferred method of cordage. So this is just some 7-strand paracord that I've picked up from Amazon, but you can pick it up from anywhere. And then you just want to get about an 8 to 10 inch length and just simply cut it in half, or cut through it, and then put your main reel down second. Okay, so when you've got your new end like this, just simply take a lighter and just burn the ends, melting it down just so that you're forming a bit of a seal. Use my tripod to stim that out. Okay, so you've just got one simple drip line there with just about 8 to 10 inches of rope. I'll show you how to attach it. Okay, so just to simply attach it, find your first tie out point, just because it's not raining. And I'm just going to go through there and just form a little lark's head. Okay, now you can see that then runs on the outside, forming a little ridge, so when water's running down, it should just run straight down here and run off. As you can see, they take up no extra space and just obviously give you that level of security against getting your gear wet and things like that. You can leave them attached to your suspension system if you like, and obviously because they are just larks headed on, you can simply take them off and move them closer to your system if that's where you want them, because that's ultimately where you do want them. Slightly under your tarp, but just away from your gear. Okay, so tip number 5 is multiple peg down points. Now you can see this is my tarp, the all-weather shelter G2. It has an island peg there and obviously the guy line coming off, so that gives me 2 options for tie out points. But what you can do is actually tie out a lot more in like really windy conditions. Let me show you what I mean. So as you can see on this tarp, it has got an eyelet which you can stick a peg straight through and then straight into the ground. Okay, giving you one option for pegging out. Now just to create a second peg out point, what you do then is just take your guy rope and just create an overhand fixed loop knot, and you can just do this as many times as you wish to protect yourself going down the guy rope. And then obviously you've got your little fixed loop, pull that tight, peg out again, and then continue on and almost form like a daisy chain to the end. Okay, so as you can see now, I've just done 3 here. So we've got the one on the tarp, obviously pinned in just 6 to 8 inches to the left, just one there as well, and then a little bit further on, just on the end of the guy line there. So what they're designed to do, obviously, if you have got windy conditions and some pegs might fail, so if this one pops out of the ground, for example, just have a look at that one. That's popped out of the ground, you can see completely out, but you've still got anchorage there and there as well. And it just gives you that little bit of extra security just overnight. Should one fail on you, you're still quite safe and you'll be none the wiser until you wake up in the morning. So yeah, this has been 5 more tips for hammock camping. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, comment, let me know what you thought, and if you're not already, please join the group on Facebook and subscribe to the channel by pressing this, and there'll be more videos here and here. See you in the next one.